Let's do it. So, the Muzzies are threatening to kick it off again. Like fucking.
Yep.
Yeah, there's like you've got this Ukraine insurgency as well that's brought a different dimension, shall we say, to what's happening there. Obviously, the Middle East is still volatile, but not fully engaged yet.
We should probably dig into that a little bit because people probably don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is our current price is a weighted expectation of what people think is going to happen, of what people think the shit's worth now. Now, that price discovery isn't just happening in crypto. It's happening in oil, it's happening in gold, it's happening in interest rates, it's happening in the stock market. And as those things wiggle around, those things are always wiggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
As they wiggle, that affects the price of crypto. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
It is. And last week's Friday's presentation, for anybody that missed it, there's a really in-depth market analysis that gets up the gold, the oil, and everything. So that's
I think right now, I might just kick it off with a little bit of a bigger picture analysis. Right now, the way to start your analysis, if you're a detailed trader and if you're like in and out kind of guy, this is the way to start it on a day. So this is the S&P 500. We've got increased volatility. We've got clear sign of a bottom, continued to go up, made a higher high. Where did it open? That's the most significant thing. So it closed here on Friday and opened exactly the same spot. It opened about couple of minutes. It opened an hour ago. So the markets think nothing much is going on. Now, the next thing you want to check is the current month's crude oil price. So you type in CL and then the month. You can get a list of them by clicking down here, but I happen to know Q is August, and let's go 2024. And actually, let's do U. CLU 2024. Crude oil opened exactly where it is and sold. So that doesn't look, the market isn't expecting war. Like Iran makes a lot of oil. An oil refinery is a pretty big stonking target if you have an air force, and pretty sure Israel and America have air forces that can blow the fuck out of Iran's refining capacity if they want to and send them broke. So the market is telling us that that's all a pile of bullshit, basically. And we can check gold as well. Where did it open compared to the weekend? There's where it closed on Friday. There's where it opened. No change. So what the market is telling us loud and clear is nothing fucking changed over the weekend, despite all the yabbering and bleating on the internet. That's the first thing you want to check that at the start of the week. And then we want to check Bitcoin and say, what happened? Well, Bitcoin's down a bit. In context of the big rise, is that really such a big deal? It will be such a big deal if we get below here. If we get anywhere around here, it's probably a big deal. Here, this is just Bitcoin. You bought Bitcoin at 48,000. It got to 62,000. That's a hell of a 3 days. Fuck yeah, book it. Book the profit. Book them, Dano. And what did that look like on an hourly chart? It looked like this. And then the next thing that we want to know is, well, is it going to keep going down, or is it going to keep or is it going to reverse? That's obviously what you want to know. So at that point, we're going to do two things. We're going to go to Velo Data. We're going to go to chart. And we're going to drop it down to a 5-minute chart. The first thing we're going to see is, was there any pre-warning that this was going to get out, that this was going to go down? And let's go back to the highs. And what we don't see is people getting out of their open interest positions. This open interest is the most important thing. What we didn't see is people getting out of their open interest before the highs. In fact, we saw people add to it, and they obviously got fucked as it went down, and then they added to it back. So people are still quite bullish about crypto. Now, what happened here? Price went down while open interest went down. That's normal. Open interest went up a little bit before price went up. That's normal. Price went down, open interest went down. You can't draw any conclusions from that. So what are we looking for to say it's over? Well, we're looking for two things. We're looking for liquidations at the bottom. And let's look at, you can see this big liquidation here. This was kind of the end. So what we're looking at here is really chop. It's like choppy bullshit. The next thing that we want to do is to go to coinalyze.net, load up Bitcoin, and we're going to look at what's called the cumulative volume delta. And so we're going to do this, and we're going to go aggravated CVD spot, and we're going to go aggregated CVD futures. Now, what we want to see when we change this to a 5-minute is when it's over, we probably want to see spot leading the way. And what this means is if we look at an order book, so this is the order book. This is how many people are willing to trade at what price. What this is there is no actual price that Bitcoin trades at. There's two prices. There's this guy, it's the price someone's willing to sell at, and there's this price, the price someone's willing to pay at. And there's a difference between, it's like 1 cent difference. If the guy who wants to buy is willing to pay up and meet the seller's price, that ticks it over. That means that the bulls are aggressive. If the sellers are getting what they want, that means that bulls are aggressive. If the other thing is happening, it means that the sellers are aggressive. So we're looking at CVD as a measure of who's aggressive and who's not. So if we take this back to a 1-hour chart, when this is on its way down in both spot and futures, really the sellers are in control. And what you want to see for a meaningful bounce is spot leading the way. Now, what I want people to see is look at right here. See how the futures bounce, which is the leverage traders, is very muted compared to the spot bounce. This is what you want to see at a bounce that's going to last for a day or two. So everyone got that? This is kind of important. Where are we now? Well, we're not there yet. We're not at a point where you'd say, bam, I've got to mash the button right now. And one last thing that I've got to look at is where are the rest of the majors? Ethereum, same basic thing. Solana, bit worse actually. Opened at the highest, tried to go up, closed at the lows, expanded range, high volatility. BNB, bit better. TRX, because I don't fucking understand this coin, how it just seems to be immune to. I don't understand this one. So we've got the so what are we looking at? We're looking at no major geopolitical bullshit that's going to fuck with us today. We're not looking at another Nikkei flash crash. Let me just check if let's see if Japan's open yet. Okay, so Japan is open. So let's look at Nikkei. And the Japan market is about the same. And let's just quickly look at USD JPY because it was the same last week, up a little bit, but nothing much really. So what is the market telling us loud and clear? Don't read the news today because that's all a bunch of bullshit. Crypto is down as a normal consequence of going up 20%, going up 25%, sometimes more in the last couple of days. What does our board look like? Pretty green board. Like most things on my on my watch list are green, with the exception of these two scam coins. What do I think? I wouldn't buy just yet. I'm already long, so I've got nothing to do. What is FinRev doing? Let's have a look. This is my 90 vol account, so it's going to wiggle way more than anyone should. When you trade at 90 vol instead of 35 or 40 vol, you just have to put up with massive gains and massive losses. So FinRev was up about 6%. Well, for me, it was up about 6%, but it shouldn't be that for normal people. This is a degenerate amount of leverage to use. We've got longs in TRX, XRP, Waves, and Sol. Very small position in Sol. TRX is the biggest long position, the only meaningful long position. We've got shorts in all these buckets of poo. So FinRev's doing pretty good today. What did we do today? We covered a bunch of shorts. So anytime that we're buying means that we're reducing position size. We are reducing position size even though we're in profit because volatility is going up. The only one we added to today is storage. So let's have a look at that. And you can see why we're adding to storage is because the volatility remains low and it's going down, so we added to it. So that's is there anything else that we should look at? Oh yeah, let me just quickly run through memes. So let's just quickly look at some major memes. Let's look at Retardio. Down pretty bad, actually. Well, Solana's down, so Retardio should be down. What else are we looking at? Nigabut down, Sigma down. Oh, let's look at Sigma. That's okay. Going down, but going down on less volume, less range. Let's look at Billy for a bigger meme. Popcat. Normal retrace after a big pump. Anything else that you're really looking at in memes, Mauricio?
Yeah, I'm not looking at memes much. Yeah.
Okay, so there's one thing that I think we should be looking at. This is a dashboard of how much money Pump.Fund has made. And generally, I did some work on this over the weekend. When Pump Fund is making more money, that's a good time to be in memes. When Pump.Fund is making less money, that's a shittier time to be in memes. What we want to see before we start playing memes again, and the memes that we're going to play probably Mitch, Niggerbutt, Sigma, smaller things like that, because they're going to have the most upside. I want to see Pump Fund start to make money. I mean, these guys are just printing money. In the last 24 hours, they had 11,000 new coins launched, and only 161 of those became real coins on Radium. What is that? That is 1.3%. That's right on the average. I wouldn't play meme coins today. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Interesting. So what I'd just like to look at quickly before I hand over to the expert Maurizio is those same Bitcoin charts of mine that we've been looking at for weeks. So we've got the same lines. It's this weekly one that we were looking at last week that I'm quite interested in. I just have some percentages of probabilities that I've thought through. So last week I was saying that we have this lower high that's really been weighing down on price all the time that we've been in this range. And I believe I said, if we don't get the other side of this lower high, then at some point we have to kind of fall out of this range. And that's what we've done. We've fallen out of this range, and we've got this just crazy capitulation candle where, if I've got it correct, everybody got fucked. Nobody won. It's up and it's down. And what I'm thinking now is, okay, then, so we've had a weekly close below this level of 60,793 is my line, but it's around there. So what does that weekly close below this range mean? Does that mean we could put percentages on this? Does this mean that we've got, say, a 25% chance of reclaiming the range, a 25% chance that we even start a new range below the low of the old range high? And then I've left a 50% chance that we could see more downside if we don't reclaim this range quicker. But just to throw something interesting in here about this price, this has been a really accelerated run. We don't normally get to the old all-time highs until kind of much further down the track. So it's like Bitcoin has gone, and now it's just taken this massive breather for months, but the price has slowly come back down. So I'm starting to ask myself, well, with this, like, is this a perfectly kind of normal correction for where we are? I know that we cannot say this happened in the past, so it will happen again. I realize that. But generally speaking, this is the first time we've been this accelerated and had all-time highs this quickly. And now it seems like we're pulling back as if it's trying to find more of a true price. And then whoosh, it goes up. And time-wise, I think we're about 100, 110, 120 days after the halving now. And I think that the average time after the halving before we see the parabolic upside is around kind of 100 to 150 days. So whilst I'm feeling bearish today, overall I'm still bullish.
I think that's right. I think this is just a normal. We're still in a trading range. What would you expect? What would you expect a trading range to behave like? You'd expect it to behave choppily. Would you expect it to be easy to trade or hard to trade? I'd expect it to be hard to trade. So while it's still hard to trade, I think you have to assume that we're still in a trading range. When it becomes easy to trade again, then it's going to give us probably a week's notice that we're going to break out of that trading range. And I don't think we're there yet.
Okay. I'll hand the nuclear football to the over to you.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Don't have much today. I've been doing a lot of different sort of research in terms of because I'm thinking the same way. I don't think we're there yet, but what I'm doing is sort of tracking what are the potentials when everything comes back, right? So that's kind of me, what I've been doing for because let me just share my screen. Definitely, I'm in the same boat. So these are all the majors, and essentially everything is sort of behaving the same way over the weekend. So we have a big rally from the bottom, from what happened on the dump. But then what I've been tracking is which are the ones that are actually recovering the most, right? And this one has been on my radar for a while. This is an HNT. An HNT, now we have a pullback, but this one actually, one of the fewer coins that actually on the dump closed on positive. Like, so this has been sort of what I've been tracking for the last couple of days to see which ones are the strongest one, and they did keep holding. And HNT seems to be the best out of the ones that I'm tracking. So I'm thinking about that one. Also, this one here, which is Ton. Always, we are already on Ton, so it's one a great performer. This one here, which is Tia. We're not in Tia yet, but Tia
I'd
has been.
be very careful about Tia. There's a lot of insiders and concerted influencer shill activity on that one. That one I'm a bit sus on. I mean, I bought it at 5, sold it at 12. It came back a long way, and there's just a concerted effort to pump it. There's just something a bit stinky about that.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing with Sui. So Sui came back quite aggressively, and so ANJ seems like this is sort of the thing that
Sui
I'm
was up
tracking.
like 36% yesterday, some ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Like let me have a.
But I mean, it was down a lot before that. So maybe that's just all the. I mean, and it's. I mean, Sui is looking really, really strong.
Yeah, it does. It does. So Sui, like this is the weekly chart, by the way, and we'll have a quick look on the weekly. But then this is the daily on Sui, and yeah, from Monday.
What
right,
about narratives? Is there any narratives that you've seen that are starting to outperform?
Not really. AI seems to be the strongest thing now, but I think layer twos, the layer twos aspect of it, like Tia, Sui, all these networks, all the new stuff, that seems to be picking up abruptly. Like those are the ones that I'm tracking to see maybe perhaps could be a really good option. We are on Sui already, but obviously we'll be doing a drawdown. That's a good recovery for Sui. But it's still on the sidelines a little bit. So I'm tracking some of the ones that are recovering the most, but I'm still on the sidelines. Why? Because let me just show you Bitcoin on the weekly. So on the weekly looks good though, but so the weekly was good, but it's really choppy. Like there's no clear direction for me at the moment to see. Like I was hoping that if we actually close the weekly above this, that will be a clearer direction, right? In my view. But the fact that it's so choppy, obviously, from the weekly perspective, is sort of, yeah, I'm not there yet completely all in now. Obviously, in terms of our positions, I'm holding. I'm still bullish, very bullish, but I wouldn't be adding it anymore just now. Let's see how it tracks everything. On the positive side, let me show you what I'm looking at as well is sort of the total open interest the last month. So obviously we had the wipeout on here, right, on the 5th of August. So definitely the open interest seems to be increasing, right? And so that's kind of positive in a way to start getting the market a little bit to the upside in terms of alts. But it's still, yeah, I'm still on the sidelines. If I show you now, let me show you the total three. So the thing is that all the charts look exactly the same, man. Like pretty much alts look everything pretty much.
Everything's the same thing, right?
Everything's the same thing. It's so correlated at the moment that it's no point to actually, but I'm still tracking the ones that actually breaking up. So with that being said, the ones that I'm tracking closely are definitely H&T. So H&T, what a strong thing, man. Like, honestly, I've been tracking this one for a while, and I was going to get in last week on the dump because the recovery of this one was actually phenomenal. And it still looks pretty strong. It looks pretty strong. This is on the fact of that H&T now is launching sort of the H&T, the mobile sort of network. These guys do like a sort of, you connect a router into your own, like your own Wi-Fi, and then those routers actually connect, and then they start launching their own network. And apparently they're launching their mobile network, and everybody that holds a radio or H&T radio gets paid on H&T tokens and things like that. So it's a pretty interesting project from that perspective. So I can see why this is that's the behavior. So that's the one that I'm sort of tracking, and tracking obviously CAS as well. CAS has been quite strong. And then yeah, so this is sort of, and today, this morning, I was doing a little bit of research, and this one came about, which is T. Have you heard about this one? T token?
No, I have not.
So it's an interesting proposition. So the T token is sort of like,
Oh,
you can actually stake, sort of stake, use your Bitcoin, and they give you something that's called TBTC, which is sort of like a staked coin that you can actually use as a collateral on DeFi and trade futures on it without spending your Bitcoins. So it is interesting in a way, but still not there yet. But I'm tracking this one to see if this one could have potential long term, right? So
look, that's an obvious Ponzi scheme, right?
Definitely.
Definitely.
What I'm looking at is,
so historically Ponzi schemes pump hard, but
yep,
you've got to go in. If you're going to get involved with a Ponzi scheme like this, you've got to be aware that at any point someone could steal all the money here and fuck it up.
Exactly. Well, I wouldn't be actually doing. I'll be just trading that one. Definitely.
Just trading.
Yeah.
But at any sign of bad rumors or anything you don't understand, you've got to be like, when you're trading something like this, you've got to be super nervous about it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm at the moment. Tracking all these things to see which ones are the ones that could potentially come back quicker in a way, and yeah, looking at into the position. But I'm on the same boat. Don't know. Like I think that.
So what do we need? What do we need for the market to pump? We need a couple of things. We need interest rates to drop.
Mm-hmm.
We need the Middle Eastern war to calm the fuck down a little bit, enough that people aren't. We need a clear winner in the election. This toss up,
Yep.
It could be Kamala, it could be Trump. Kamala coming in strong. That's not good for crypto because she's got a bunch of people on her side that hate crypto. So Trump is the crypto preferred candidate. Any of those things, we've got a few things weighing on us here.
Mm-hmm.
That's generally the way that I'd put it.
I agree. The only positive thing that I've seen that happened last week that it could be bullish is the fact that Putin actually signed the new law in terms of miners, like to approve like Bitcoin mining in Russia. And if you go back to what Trump mentioned up in the Bitcoin meeting, like in the Bitcoin conference, right? To be like America be the one of the leaders in Bitcoin AI and technology and all this sort of stuff. That could be something that shifts the things in terms of governments actually looking into this a little bit, sort of. I don't know. That's just that speculation. Don't call me on that, but this is the only thing that I can see. Sort of. Yeah, this is purely a speculative speaking here. I mean, like, this is just a conversation. But from that perspective, from a Bitcoin maximizer perspective, that could be a good thing, right? Like you can actually see that a little bit of weight on that. So, but the fact that it wasn't sustained, because I think that was one of the perhaps could have been one of the catalysts one of the comps on Bitcoin, but it wasn't sustainable. So yeah, I mean, I'm on the sidelines, to be honest. I'll keep tracking, what things are there that are actually recovering quick, and then. But we do have some good positions on. We have some drawdown, so but we're still not selling anything. I have a few on the chopping board. I think you guys already know which ones are there, but I'm still not doing much. Yeah, not much, not buying much, not selling much. Just stay on silence at the moment, at least for the next couple of days.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm long memes. I'm heavily long Retardio. I've got a couple other things in my meme accounts. I'm long some spot, long some long some NEAR, long some ENA, long some AI coins. That's been a fucking disaster. FinRev is short as a motherfucker, which has been excellent. I don't know. I guess is the unsatisfying thing, and that's kind of what you should feel like in a trading range. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
One day it looks good, the next day it looks bad. That's trading range stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Everything looked good last week. So I was talking about
Joseph Evans has an excellent question. Hold a bit of ETH and think you're moving a good portion to Sol. Would you recommend this?
That's interesting.
Can you bring up the Sol ETH chart, please?
Yeah.
I think today's probably a pretty good day to do that if you're going to do it. So this is a dangerous trade because ETH is so hated. Like,
Yeah.
Ethereum is like the most hated coin right now. And it's very dangerous to bet against something when everyone hates it. So I would call that a dangerous thing to do with a high, it looks like it's going to work, but I would still say that betting against things that people hate is very dangerous.
I agree. And if this is the chart, Solana against Ethereum. So whenever you want to do those swaps, it's sort of the same thing. Ideally, you want to do it not on the tops, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know what's your take on this one, Scott, but I tend to, if I'm going to do that, like if I keep that in, like if I want to do that, I want to make sure that the value is here, because that's got to be like a long-term sort of swap, right? Like
I don't think we have to have a horse in every race. I think if you're thinking about that trade, half each probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about that, half each is probably.
Yeah, but Solana definitely it is strong. If it's not that strong, like let me show you the weekly, and this is definitely a horrible chart. Like if we look at Solana from the weekly perspective, it looks pretty much the same as Bitcoin and as the total tree. But if we look at Ethereum, definitely doesn't look strong at all, right? So yeah, that's my way. I like don't have any clear bias on we and if the war breaks out or anything, we can still get a little bit of a lower range here. If things break out badly, that could still happen. That can still be a possibility, right? What do you reckon, Scott?
I think it depends on a lot of stuff that we can't control. I think if they, I think the election is uncertainty. I think Bitcoin is a confidence trade, and crypto is a confidence trade. When did normies start to get into crypto? The ones who aren't the laser eyes, I believe in it. They start to get into it when they feel like, yeah, this is a good time to get risky. This is a good time to like. And when do people want to get risky? When they feel like they know they've got some sort of like semi-certainty about the future. Crypto was pumping really hard when it looked like Trump was a lock. When Trump's a 50-50, Oh, those are pretty big. Those are pretty big different outcomes. Like they're not really. You know, we all know she's going to do the same thing as him, and like it's just the same horse, different jockey. But like it feels different. We want to. We want to feel like the stock market's back on a tear again. We want to see Nvidia making new highs. We want to we want to see general confidence back. That's what we
I
want.
agree. I agree. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. And if you think about like most of the traders, like big traders are on the same boat as well. They sort of like, you know, let's wait a little bit. So that's when you see a lot of choppiness around, right? People like, especially short time traders, like go long and short and on smaller time frames. But yeah, longer time, I'm still bullish, but I won't buy anything right now. Might get better price, or you know, or might get some confirmation later down in the next couple of weeks. So yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, nothing exciting. Nothing exciting to show you. I was hoping like, yeah, but but I'm still yeah.
Is there any coins that is there any coins that we can look at for people? I mean, let's stay away from the shit meme coins because they're like too hard. You don't want to do any of those today.
Definitely. What I will say is
Ricardio's a really good price at the moment. So I know for a fact there's a lot of members in the group that are making bank non-stop with Ritardio, because what they're doing is they're buying at the lows, they're setting the Trojan bot as per the instructions in the welcome kit, and they're taking profits at 100 or 120%. And Ritardio is just displaying this same behavior over and over again, that we have these huge greedy upside wicks that hit new all-time highs. I think 0.144 I think was the last one, was the last all-time high. So I'm not suggesting that's the trade to take today. I just know there's a lot of people in the group that are making a lot of money by just repeating the Ritardio trade over and over and over and building up their bag of Ritardio as they do it.
Well, I'm down pretty substantially. I'm down from a peak of 250, and I just checked my Ritardio balance. It's 143. I'm not banking profits. I think if we get a bull market, Ritardio is the meme that's going to break out. Like if I look at who are the most influential people in crypto Twitter, which is where the trends get set, the number one by far, you got Mossy's Tui, and I got him in my room too. Yeah, the most influential people by far are Ansem, Kobe, Smalting, Trading Axe, and all those guys are in on Ritardio. So they're starting to use it as a word in like everyday vocabulary. Oh, that's Ritardio. Yeah. Don't be so retarded. I think it's gonna work. I've never wavered. You know, I was in on it. I was in on it right from the start. And I've never wavered, and I believe that there's going to be a seven-figure win in it for me anyway, at least, inshallah.
Yeah, but I'm in the same boat. I wouldn't. Yeah, I definitely put a list of things that we might be looking at. But if you know, I think I'll be focused on things that will, like that are quite strong. And then you can actually play some small, like short time frames if you want to play the game or something. Like it's things like Soul, definitely, you know, on this pullback, especially today, wouldn't be a bad idea. Ton, same thing as the strength, same thing. Straw, same thing. They're all closing the same sort of deal. So obviously, if we get some strength this week, I think those are the ones that are going to lead the way. As they're doing, and you know, HNT as well, but HNT already went up a little bit. So those are the things that I'm looking at in terms if you want to do some small trades this week. I you know, those are my, like, yeah, if I had to trade, those ones are the ones that I will be trading, you know, especially on pullbacks. So yeah. Morg is right there. Morg is being very, very stable. Like,
I like it. I like it as a meme. I think it's a word that's, you know, I mean, all these memes are conditional on us getting a bull market.
Yeah.
Like they like if we get a bear market, these things are going to be trading at 1 cent in the dollar, if that. So you've got to realize that it's inappropriate to have your whole bag in memes unless you're starting off like William in the chat with $100. If you've got $100, well, fuck, Bitcoin might go 70 to 100. Wow, you made $30. Good year.
Yeah.
But there's every chance that decent meme coins can 50 and 100x from here.
Definitely. I agree. That's what I've been putting like, yeah, like because $100, like if you put it on the big caps and things like that, you might not get much out of that one. Obviously, but yeah, Mock, even Foxy's been down for a while, but obviously still it's just starting in a way.
But you can't expect these shitbag coins to go up.
No,
like when the
not
market
at all.
goes down, like there's no appetite for taking risk.
At all. Exactly. I agree. But it's been like, high conviction, either Foxy or Mock. Those are the ones that I'm on, and I'll be adding more in Mock, definitely. It's been quite resilient. Quite resilient.
One that I think is going to pump is Sigma. I don't think it's a good coin, but I think the people behind it are really going to pump it next time we get some.
Which this is
a garbage coin, but
which on that note, Scott, if people want to start practicing using the Trojan board, this is the time for you guys to start doing that, because when things get active, you don't gonna have time to learn. And this is the thing, right? Like people wait until everything is up, like high highs and all the sort of stuff to actually get in. And if you don't know how to actually operate the Trojan board and play with it and do that, so I will suggest this will be the perfect time to start wasting some money, because you will lose most essentially, right? Take $10 and buy some soul and fucking just play with the Trojan board, buy here, buy there, put the limit orders, do all the stuff while the market is like this. And then once everything gets back on track, it will be crazy. Memes will go freaking crazy, especially with the strength of Solana. And I still believe that Ton is following the way. So this is a speculation. There's no data behind what I'm going to say.
So some really long shot bets that have a good probability of paying off are Ton shit coins in that Ton.
Exactly.
We should have a list. Have you got anything that you're tracking? Because I haven't done any work.
I'm putting something together. Because
I think that's a really promising area.
Yeah, because this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. A lot of the people that actually made a lot of money on Solana network, they're going to transition on Ton. And you know what I mean? Like, because that sort of seems the behavior of some of them. Like you can actually see some meme coins that actually start on Solana, and then you get the copy right back on Ton. Obviously, none of the strategy is working at the moment, but when capital liquidity comes in and everything is making money, I think that will be a really good play. So I'm just getting prepared for it. So I'm getting some bots as well together to trade the Ton network. So this is the time to do it, when everything is actually like this. This is trying to practice. This is trying to actually understand the Trojan bots, and you don't get wrecked. And so you can actually capitalize when the time comes. You know what I mean? Like don't wait until everything is back onto, because you will not have time to actually execute.
And meme coins happen so fast.
I know.
You need to use a bot.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. Me neither. No. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been focusing on for the last and I'll be doing a little bit more research and put something in the group probably in the next couple of days to see what are the biggest the ones that are holding back and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, doing a lot of work.
The coin I'm waiting for is the Hyperliquid coin. That is an exchange that we've been red hot on from the beginning. They're going to drop their coin soon. I've got a fuckload of points because I traded like literally $1 billion through that exchange.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, they haven't announced the name of the coin, but but people who use Hyperliquid, and I think we all use Hyperliquid here. Ian, you use Hyperliquid?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
How's
Yep.
your experience with it?
I do enjoy it. It's swift. The fees are good, and yeah, I've always had a good experience with it.
Yeah, I love it. And I know the owner, and I'm like, I'm not a well-wisher, I'm a fan. I know people in that HFT industry who know the owner from high level, there's such a gap in high frequency trading between like the top 3 or 4 firms, and then there's daylight to like the bottom 100 firms. And so the top firms are you know, Hudson River Trading and Jump and a couple of others, Virtu. And he was a senior guy at Hudson River Trading, so he's like one of the smartest guys in the world. Hyperliquid is going to be our next FinRev exchange for sure. Right,
Oh,
guys.
that wouldn't be good, because actually you're gonna get all the rewards out of trading on FinRev on
Yeah,
Hyperliquid.
you'll get the
You get all the
point.
volume. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get everything. That would be beautiful, man. That would be sweet. Yep.
Yeah, well.
No, so just a quick admin then for anybody. I've seen a few comments about people who knew they're just getting oriented and they want to know about the Trojan bot. And I know that people love saying, Ian, you only ever say the welcome post. But guess what? There is a full video on how to use the Trojan bot, exactly what to do, every single button.
You want me to show you quickly right now?
We can do, but there is a full detailed video in that welcome post, along with all the information that you need.
Let me give you the 2-second version of it. Where is it? Telegram? Okay. So Trojan Bot is a channel on Telegram, which is a chat app. You load it up, and the first thing you type is you've got a menu here. You can go start, and it'll tell you this is your Solana address. This is how much SOL I've got in it. I've got 1 SOL, and I can click on positions and see what positions I'm holding, and it'll say I've got all of these. I just use this for trading. This isn't my real wallet. And then if you want to sell some of it, you can either sell 30%, or you could sell 1 SOL by typing 1 space SOL and hitting enter, or you could sell 30% of what you've got. You can also go limit orders and check what limit orders you've got. So if the price of this token gets to this price, I'm going to sell, and that expires on the 26th of this month. If Mitch goes up 10x, I'm going to sell some of Mitch. Settings, you can go to wallets and you can export your private keys, which I won't do because you guys all know my private keys. And you can see your P&L values. And you can do sell settings. You can set automatic sell amounts, so you can sell 50%. So I can sell 50% at 100% profit. That's a good way to do things. It doubles in price. You sell half your stack. You can sell 100% of your stack. Yeah. It's just a pretty handy piece of software all around.
Yeah, very simple to use. That's why it takes time. Yeah, spend like an hour doing something like that, guys, and you know, be prepared for
and it's okay to do it on your phone too. It's one of the, like, usually I fucking hate trading on my phone, and I don't have trading apps on my phone because I fucking hate it, and it sucks because it sucks your life away, but it's actually kind of good to do on your phone.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone.